First question that I have for you is what does happiness from within mean to you? Or what does it look like? There's no right or wrong answer, but this is one of my favorite questions that I ask all my entrepreneurs that come on my show.
That's a great question. I have a few answers right now. I would say my muse is my boyfriend because no matter what is going on, he's always happy, he's always smiling, and it's really taught me how I interact with my day, with reacting to things that don't go well, and watching someone else be able to truly be happy from within, regardless of the shit that's going on around them, has inspired me to take a look and a deep dive on like, why am I so unhappy at times, right? So, to me, right now, that means just staying happy and true to yourself and knowing that whatever's going on around you, it's going to come and go. Hopefully, nobody's going to die. And it's okay. Like, it is okay to get through it. And if you can just work through it with grace and happiness, maybe find like a way to laugh and just kind of stay relaxed a little bit. That's what it means to me right now. And because those are all the things I'm working on.
It. And then I went to see, okay, it didn't make.
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another beautiful episode of Happiness from Within. Today I have a really incredible guest. Her name is Lauren Howell. She's an incredible, amazing, incredible real estate agent working out of Arizona and also Florida. And I actually have her here. Today we're going to be talking about building self-love, right, as an entrepreneur and self-confidence, right, this thing that we go through. And she's going to share a little bit about her story. So hello, Lauren, how are you?
Hi, doing well. This is such a loaded topic. It's so good and it's so needed. So thank you for trusting me with it.
Absolutely. So let's first question that I have for you is what does happiness from within mean to you? Or what does it look like? There's no right or wrong answer, but this is one of my favorite questions that I ask all my entrepreneurs that come on my show.
That's a great question. I have a few answers right now. I would say my muse is my boyfriend because no matter what is going on, he's always happy, he's always smiling, and it's really taught me how I interact with my day, with reacting to things that don't go well, and watching someone else be able to truly be happy from within, regardless of the shit that's going on around them, has inspired me to take a look and a deep dive on like, why am I so unhappy at times, right? So, to me, right now, that means just staying happy and true to yourself and knowing that whatever's going on around you, it's going to come and go. Hopefully, nobody's going to die. And it's okay. Like, it is okay to get through it. And if you can just work through it with grace and happiness, maybe find like a way to laugh and just kind of stay relaxed a little bit. That's what it means to me right now. And because those are all the things I'm working on.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Really amazing. So, question that I have for you is before you had all the success that you had now, right? And you continue to have, what inspired you to go into real estate? Like where did that come from?
Well, I really wanted to be cute at the office. And so I only looked for jobs that allowed me to wear the outfit that I wanted to wear for work. So that's how it started. I got hired as an executive assistant to a commercial real estate agent in Phoenix. And so I got to go get my wardrobe all squared away and went into the office. But what I didn't know was that I had this whole love. Commercial real estate's different. I worked in the industrial space. So it's like big warehouses, mezzanines, bays, just like manufacturing. And it was really gritty, if you will, just because there's nothing glamorous about a warehouse. But I uncovered a love and discovered something within me that I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then it just transitioned into residential real estate because I was teaching yoga. And that love for helping people just moved itself. I had moved away into teaching yoga and then moved back into real estate because I wasn't really making that much money teaching yoga. And I loved it so much that I was like, I have to do something that benefits me too, so that I'm happy and not stressed out, but still can continue giving what I have to the people who want to be cared for through the biggest transaction of their life.
That's incredible. I first want to say that I commend you for just boom, getting straight to it because, it's really easy for any of us as humans to judge other people, right? I was having a conversation with a young woman the other day, and we were having a really incredible conversation. And she said, so, I really like how you said that you knew exactly what you wanted. You wanted to dress cute. And I love that. I love that. And the young woman I was talking to, she's like, I was like, what is one of the things that makes you happy, right? We're just having dialogue. And she says, I love it when my boyfriend buys me expensive things. And I said, that's awesome, right?
Oh,
Maybe other people look at that like, oh my God, like,
so
so conceited.
shallow.
It's like,
Yeah.
no, like, who are we to judge? Like, that's their life. That's I really like to say it's their fortune. And I don't mean just the money. I just mean like, she was able to attract that. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Like,
Well,
life is
that's
so
a
short. Life is so
mhm,
short, like, um, can I just give one more example? Like,
yeah.
I have a family member that actually they work for a very expensive handbag company, right? And they're very good in sales, right? And they do the same thing. They take very good care of their significant other. And it's just there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like it's like this concept of happiness from within. It's like not just about the happiness, but like how we live our life. Like when I told you when I met you, like there was just something about like your energy, right? I was just like, oh, I want to get her on my podcast, and here we are now
Here we are.
connecting, and I think this flows beautifully into the next topic that we're going to talk about. But I first wanted to say that I want to recognize you because I think it's amazing. You just, you know yourself, you know your worth, and anybody that has built that up, it's like people think like, oh, it just like happens overnight. It's like, no, it's like, I know that I can't imagine that you've been through a lot, right, to build yourself up to where you are now, and you continue to just blossom every day. So I just want to recognize you right now.
Yeah. Thank you. And it's such a journey because at least for me, I've never experienced being anybody else, but I know that when I'm super confident about something, it is like nobody's going to argue with me and nobody's going to change my mind. But it's the areas of the gray or the wishy-washy or where I'm like, well, maybe, okay, yeah, maybe. That's where I'm like, you can influence me and maybe I'll try it. We all have that little voice within that we should listen to if you don't, because that's what tells you like what path you want to be on, what you like, what you don't like, what you stand for, your morals, your ethics, like all of those things. And so that's part of getting to know yourself and showing up confidently, if we want to use that word, and being able to express who you are and not feeling shameful that I was going to say that the girl that you spoke of, her love language is gifts, right? That's how I looked at that. It was like, okay, that's just her love language. You can't argue with that. That's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
So if we're talking about this, building confidence, somebody watching or listening right now, what are some one or two tools that you could give somebody that's, there's obviously a lot of different things, self-care, standing in your power, all these things. There's so many different ways to build self-confidence, but just anything you feel that's flowing through your body right now, like what is something that a man or a woman can do um, to start building that, self-love, self-confidence with themselves, that has worked for you.
Definitely taking a look back to see how far you've come.
Mm,
So, silly example, but a tangible one. When I got to Florida, the MLS that I used for work because I sell real estate,
mhm.
it was so hard to get used to. Like my eyeballs couldn't get used to it. It wasn't intuitive for me. I've been working with the other Arizona MLS for almost 2 decades. I got here and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. What is going on? And then now, the other day, actually, I was just sitting at my desk and I was like, oh my gosh, I can move seamlessly through here because it's been enough time. I've spent time in there. I've practiced. I understand. So that's like a big one, right? Because what feels like a huge hurdle at the time, one day it's just going to be like this small thing that you don't even remember was bugging you because you're moving forward, learning. Hopefully, you're always a student. So that is definitely one, is looking back. And like I said before, just knowing who you are. And there's going to be different things where you don't fully understand maybe what your outlook or how you feel about something is. But through trial and error, it's really easy to understand what you think, how you feel. Do you like to dress in this color? Do you like to wear this kind of clothes? Do you like to show up on time, or do you like to be early? Are you okay being late? Doesn't matter what department of life it is. Like, we all have those things that we want to be confident in, but we also have to give ourselves grace, because when we start comparing, that's when you're a little disappointed in yourself. But if you ask yourself, hey, am I actually okay with this? And you are, then that's your confidence, and you need to own it and you need to walk in it. And it's not shameful, it's just who you are. And there's something so cool about people who know who they are and they own every little thing about themselves. It is so, like, you can just feel them, like they're a total force. They can walk in a room and you're just in awe of that person. It's cool. I'm sure you've experienced it.
Oh yeah, 100%. I love, love, love what you said, and I'd love to expand on that about remembering how far you've come, because as we go through life, right, experiences, trials and errors, you said it exactly right. It's only going to expand us, as a person, because if we're not growing, we're dying, right? If we're not challenging ourselves on a daily, weekly basis, then what the heck are we doing on this planet, right? Like, I also think, like, too, building self-love and self-confidence is, especially when we're trying to find ourselves, like, it's not about just figuring it out that day. Like, you got to try new things. Maybe you're trying to find your mission, maybe you're not sure if you want to go this way, but start trying things, it could be small things, right? We're not saying tomorrow, oh, you have to give up everything. And there are people that do that, and all the power to you, but it's like sometimes you just got to start doing new things, right? Maybe there's certain lessons that you may or may not have to learn. There's not always a lesson, right? So,
That's a really good point.
yeah,
The lesson is there. It absolutely, it can be, not always. But yeah, I agree with that point. Starting small rather than trying to like do everything at once when it comes to change, or trying everything at once. If you just do like one little micro change, you'll see the domino effect really.
absolutely. What is it that lights your soul on fire?
Ugh, I hate to say working. I'm working on not working so much, to be honest. Um, I love my beauty appointments. Like, I don't love going to them, but I love feeling put together. So that's always something that, I take pride in what I look like. I take pride in the outfits I choose. I always want to be classy. There's a time and a place to maybe look a little slutty, but I feel like I'm over that phase. Like, I just always want to be very proud of myself, because taking pride in who I am and then showing up somewhere affects how I interact with people. It affects how I treat people. It affects maybe how long I stay somewhere. And so I always find that, like, when I'm in need of a beauty appointment, right? It's like that's when something important comes up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have just done it. I know that sounds so silly, but it's something that just kind of makes me happy. I like feeling put together.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. I think you and I have a lot of things in common, so that's great.
Yeah.
It goes back to that self-care, that self-love, whatever, however that
Yeah.
looks for you. Like, I'm the type of person that I have to recharge myself. Is like I have to, because I take in energy is like a lot, it's like I have to
Mhm.
spend a lot of time alone. And then when I'm ready, I'm like, okay, here I
Let's
am.
go. Yeah,
But
I will say this year has been an interesting year because I love my beauty appointments, but I kind of let like my mental health slip. And it just hit me this year, which probably sounds naive. Like, the two are not correlated. You have to take care of yourself. And I get enough sleep and I drink enough water and I don't really drink that much alcohol. but like the mental health of how nice you are to yourself, of how many hours a day you work, of taking time for, I live in Miami, so going to the beach and being in the sunshine and spending time with the loved ones that I want to spend time with, taking time to call someone on the phone. Those are all things that's like an allowance that you should let yourself have, because those are what make your heart full. Otherwise, you're just kind of existing, like going day to day through life. And my comparison for myself was, okay, you might look good, but you're just like dead on the inside. And that's not really the goal here. Like we want to have our heart on fire. We want to feel good. We want to not feel guilty if we're not working, like it's okay to go out and have a glass of wine. And so I'm a little bit of an extremist, so this might not resonate with everyone, but that's a big epiphany I've had here in 2025, which I know sounds naive, but it just hit me this year. So it just is what it is.
Doesn't sound naive at all. If you don't mind me asking, what is your sign? Are you a Taurus or an Aries?
Sagittarius.
Oh, Sagittarius. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I'm sun, moon, and rising is Sagittarius, Aries, Scorpio. So I'm like
Oh, okay,
all
that's right.
fire and then like black and white.
No, I love your fire energy. It's incredible. Yeah,
What are you?
people, Sagittarius is like you don't mess with Sagittariuses, it's like you've got that fire energy. They're very good in business, very driven, very clear on what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gotten to an unhealthy point almost, because I just want to keep doing more and keep being better and keep selling more and keep meeting more people. Like, okay, girl, like let's reel it in. Let's enjoy life at some point. Like you don't need to be the biggest and the best, which isn't my goal, because I don't think I would be alive if that was my goal to be number one. So I know that about myself. So I've had to like really slow down on the competitive side. And I feel like that's a piece of confidence just to have, is like I know that I'm super competitive and I know that it will like ruin relationships and it will ruin my happiness. So I had to dial it back, right? Like knowing yourself, the pluses and the minuses are super important.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's amazing. How long have you been in the real estate space?
It's 2008.
Oh, wow. You have a lot of experience. That's incredible. Yeah, because they say
Yes.
after I think 10 years that you become a master in your craft, if that's something you're doing day in, day out. So that's amazing. Congratulations. That's
Thank
really,
you.
really
Yeah, it's
incredible.
been a long time.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's fun.
That's wonderful. So as we wrap up here, um, I just would love to ask you just a few more questions. When you are, doing that self-care and you're in your heart space and spending the time that you need, for mental health, what does that look like for you?
That is waking up at 4 and having an hour or two to myself in the morning.
Mm,
And it's something that I have been doing for probably 5 years now. And let's be real, like I'm not waking up every single day at 4. My body needs rest. Sometimes it's nice on a weekend to just wake up with the sun, not before the sun. And so it's for as consistent as I want to be, because that time is so special to me. It's almost dwindled out my social life, because you can't go to bed at 4 and have a social life. If you do, your like social life is a lunch or it's 4 o'clock dinner. Because I like to get in bed at 7:30 and my friends are like, can we go to dinner at 7? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna like die at 7:30. So I will say there's the happy medium, right? Like trying to understand, again, giving the grace. But the 2 hours in the morning before I exercise is just like my special time. I am alone with my cats. I can do whatever I need or want to do. Sometimes I go for a walk. Sometimes I go to early exercise. Sometimes I always have tea time. Tea time is my favorite thing in the whole planet. And sometimes I do cards, sometimes I journal, sometimes it's work, ordering Amazon, like whatever it is that needs to get done. It's just alone time and no one's bothering me. And because it's so early, no one's calling me, which is probably the more important piece. Because if I were to be a night owl, I'd probably have to be awake till at least 10 o'clock in order to get that alone time, because most people are still awake. So that's just become my super special time. And that's where I recharge, as you said earlier, is just being alone and having that. And so the days that I miss it, I miss it. Like I'm like, oh, my day didn't start that great. I just look forward to it.
Wonderful. No, you've shared so many great gems, and but just the last thing I want to do is just open up the floor to you one more time, just to share any last minute words you'd like to share with the audience from your heart, anything that flows through you.
Yeah. I mean, just taking care of yourself and making sure that is you're doing it in a way that you respect yourself. You're not doing it because somebody told you to. You're not doing it because you should. I hate the word should. If it's a should, it's an obligation. And you want to make sure that what you're doing is aligned with who you are at the time of day that works for you. If somebody's waking up at 4, it doesn't make you any less of a good person because you're waking up at 6, you know? So really just owning who you are and standing in that and feeling good that you are who you are, and whatever you don't like about yourself, feel free to try and change it. It's going to be a long journey for the most part, but it's worth it if it's something you really want. And if you don't like it, then you just go back to who you are naturally. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. Well, Lauren, I want to thank you very much from my heart to yours. Thank you so much for being a guest here on Happiness from Within. It was a pleasure to have you. And those of you
Yes.
listening or watching, I want to wish you a wonderful, fabulous day. And remember to smile because you're worthy. Have a great day, you guys. Bye for now.